So let's try and break this down. What is going on, everyone? Today I've done a Cubeatz Coop the Truth style sample, like some Frank Duke stuff. As you can tell by the look of the FLP, it's super complex, but I'm going to walk you through it all. The majority asked for this in the polls that I put on the community tab, so go vote in those whenever you see them to direct the content in the direction you want to see it. So yeah, before we get into it, please follow me on social medias. The links will be in the description, and if you just want to search it, it is at kavandignam1. Yeah, let's just get into the video then. So first things first, I'm just going to let you listen to the complete composition. So we have a section A here and a section B here, and then just some differentiations. So now I'm going to try my best to break it down step by step from the start to the end. So the first thing I started with was this FL keys. Got the chords I wanted. It is in a harmonic minor scale. So as you can see, these two majors wouldn't be in the natural minor scale, but yeah. So this whole sample just started with those chords. Then I put it into an analog lab. I used the Wild World preset from Loophole. As you can see, I did change the chords once I got it in this format. The things I added to this sound are a H910 harmonizer, which does pitch it down 4 semitones in the end, so it put it back on the correct pitch. I put a Wolf compressor on it, up the lo-fi and the wow, and an EQ just to cut out some highs. Before the plugins, it sounded like this. So yeah, it did transform the sound quite a lot. Next, I added a contact bang Elysium harp. I use this one quite a lot. So with no plugins and effects, this is the MIDI. So yeah, it looks kind of complex, but it's not that complex. This is just the C sharp minor chord, just duplicated up. Just some little runs into the next chord. I adjusted the velocities a ton, just using Alt R. With effects on, it sounds like this now. So I use an LFO tool and it just cuts out the end part. Next, I use an effect track, Liquid Vibe. Then I use some halftime, just turn the mix down a ton. Just for some more background textures. Echo Boy, use the analog preset and turn it down. For some delay. Sketch cassette, just added some saturation and just basically messed it up a little bit. And an EQ, just to take out some frequencies. Next, I went into Philharmonic and got some violins pizzicato from the string section. Yeah, just played out this pattern. Just going along with the chords. I used a compressor from Arteria just because Philharmonic sounds are quite low in volume, just to boost the volume really. I used GHC Lossy and just up the amount. Just to lo-fi it up. And I use this plugin called H3000 Factory from Eventide. I don't know why more people don't use this. I think it's a pretty cool plugin. Maybe it's because the interface looks... Yeah, I used the preset Tremolo and turned it down a ton. Chops it a little bit. And then an EQ just to box out some frequencies. Panned it a ton. Next, I added this Piano V2. I used the preset American Jazz Concert. I think it might just be the default one. So yeah, I just have the bass note coming in, then the chords strummed. And then for effects, I dirtied this one up a ton. I used a Valhalla Room just to give piano some space. I used Shaperbox and created this crazy ass, weird ass pattern. I used H3000 Factory again. I actually love this at the minute. Used Slapwire Micro and turned it down a bit. Use a Volv compressor, up the lo-fi, turn down the compression and up the wow. And an EQ. The next sound I added was this Kalimba one shot. Yeah, and just panned it a ton to the right, spread out the stereo image, added some lossy, just to dirty it up more, and an EQ. That sounds like this. Next added a sine, just playing out the chords. Trim control from GHC, the fast stereo wobble preset, but just turned it down a ton because before it was love filter just to low pass it, and an EQ. Next added a key. Added a delay and an EQ. Next I used this Selena tape. Pretty sure this is just the same notes as the pattern before. Then without the effects it sounded like this. So H3000 Factory again, underwater delay. Another delay. Couple of EQs that do the exact same thing. And the last thing I did was this bass, this one-shot bass. Unless you count this percussion loop, then this would have been the last thing. Just some pan and an EQ. Right, so in terms of the arrangement, which is probably the hardest thing to describe here, so I'm going to break down the A section and the B section. So the A section, first I'm just playing normal as per. Next the harp, play normal as per. Together. The Philharmonic, normal as per. Piano, normal as per. Flux, normal. Keys, normal. Selena, normal. Now the B part, which is way more interesting. So I added this volume automation for it to just go up and down, just to... Coop does it a lot in his samples, so does Nami. I would make it unique first of all, then I would go to automate, volume, and then just mess about with it. Now it sounds like this with the automation. Next, I got the harp and I pitched it down and just cut it up. Next was this piano, which I added some automation onto, just so it stops the volume at a certain point. Volume's just increased on the latter. Just the accents, same as per. Signs, same as per. The only difference with the sign is I added the first pluck at the end here. Just on both sides. Next, I got this vocal one shot, tuned it to the pitch of the sample, and yeah, just added it like this. The key from earlier, I pitched it down. You might have thought earlier the breaks and everything sounded really weird, like the breaks and the pad and the weird volume automation, but in context with the vocals, it all makes sense. Then the latter half, it's just these two duplicated over with the vocal taken out. So yeah, the automation is very key in making your sample sound very Coopish, Nammy-ish, just to have breaks and make space for other instruments. The download link for this will be in the description. Put a tape emulator on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the default preset. And an LFO tool just to make it a little more choppy. And shall I put some drums on it? Okay, I'll put some drums on it. Yes, I'm going to throw some drums on this. If you don't really care about me throwing drums on it, then you can skip to the end of the video to hear the final beat, or you can like and subscribe and watch the drums. And don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. And while you're there, you can also like and subscribe. Then I mentioned you can like and subscribe. One more thing I'll say is... So that is how I make Cubeatz, Coop the Truth, Frank Duke style samples. So please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. Follow me on social media, the links will be in the description, and I'll catch you in the next video.